Namaste and very good evening to one and all. I'm Dr. Aishwarya, Corporate Trainer and 360-degree Leadership Assessment Specialist. Welcome to Leaders Connect 360 Foundation episode LC0229. Leaders Connect 360 Foundation is a non-profit organization aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Goals (SDG). Our mission is to invite 1,000 plus leaders and create a million leaders. Every Wednesday, we come from together 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. on Zoom Live to gain insights from top management leaders and last week of the month from authors. And once every quarter, we take it in offline in different cities to network, support, and grow together. Because at Leaders Connect 360, we strongly believe that leaders create more leaders. Before we kickstart the episode, a quick reminder, please keep your videos on for an engaging experience. First time visitors, check out the WhatsApp, Facebook, and LinkedIn in the chat box to stay and connected and grow with us. This episode is being recorded for our community archives. Now let's set the energy high. If you are excited and really for an impactful section, drop a thumbs up or smiley in the chat box. Thank you. That's fantastic. And before we go, let me introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Natarajan Krishnamurthy, founder and CEO, Savyasasy Software Solutions. Let me also introduce our panel discussion leader, Ms. Kalaiyarasi, Elango, certified POSH trainer and corporate soft skill trainer. With further ado, let's get started. And today's topic is the power of communication in leadership, right? So it's good communication help leaders to build trust, connect with their teams, and also to achieve their goals common together. And it also help in solving the problems easily, which create a positive work culture in an environment, which creates a positive environment, positive atmosphere in an organization. Most importantly, it keeps everyone motivated and moving in the same direction. On this note, we are very happy to welcome you, sir. Now I invite Mr. Arul to present an introductory video for our guest speaker. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for accepting our invite.
Thank you. Thank you.
Aishwarya, you're on mute.
Yes. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction video. Once again, sir, on behalf of BJA Trainings and the Mask Leadership and Leaders Connect, we welcome you for our wonderful episode, sir. We are eagerly waiting to get the insights from you. Thank you so much, sir, and the session is over to you, Kalai.
Okay, thank you so much. So, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for having me here. And it's truly a pleasure to be part of this wonderful discussion with, along with Mr. Natarajan Krishnamurthy on the topic, the power of communication in leadership. I'm very much excited to understand and get inspired from him, and also I'm genuinely excited about this conversation because the communication to me is not just about what we say, but how we connect and influence and build trust as leaders, right? I look forward to an engaging exchange of perspectives today, sir. Welcome to the session. Shall we proceed?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I hope you're able to hear me.
Yes, yes. Thank you
Sure.
so much.
Thank you.
So, in your experience, how does the way a leader communicates shape the team's culture, motivation, and trust?
Right. So before I answer that particular topic or question inside the topic of communication, I think uh, thank you very much for inviting me to address this gathering. And I see a good number of participants. 35 numbers is a pretty good number. So welcome all of you all. And I think each one of us are leaders in our own ways in our organization or wherever we work or wherever we interact with people, be it a house or in the organization. So I would call all of you as leaders. So welcome all leaders. Thank you for inviting me, and you know, uh, and hoping to hear some fantastic stuff from all of us as well, and not only from me. So wherever you have questions, I think you should keep noting it down, and maybe in the end we can have some couple of maybe a 5 or 6 minutes of question answer session. So yeah, so your question was on how do communication foster trust and culture in the organization.
Yes.
Right. So let's quickly for a couple of minutes look at what is culture, right, in an organization. So culture is predominantly what I have seen in my career and in all the 7 organizations that I've worked with, right from Accenture, Wipro, and all that. So culture is something that is the behavior of the employees uh, in the organization at various situations. So that is predominantly defines the culture of the organization, because after all, an organization is made up of people. So, and the culture of the organization is nothing but how people behave with their own team members or with the other departmental people, or even with security, or even with the person who brings in chai for him. So that behavior of the people defines the culture of the organization, right? So as leaders, right, what we can do to define a good culture of the organization. A good culture or bad culture can be measured in so many ways, which we are not going to get into. One of the good ways to measure is, you have the employee, happiness score and things like that. The other way to measure whether the culture is good or not is by seeing what is the attrition rate of the company and things like that. So we have so many things by which we can know the organization culture and measure them to a large extent. But how do we create culture, a good culture, and also trust amongst the people of the organization as leaders, right? So first of all, I think as leaders, we should be pretty open in our communication. That's the first thing that a leader has to learn. Being open is absolutely essential, given that even now we are in the Gen Z generation. So I think in my olden days when I started my career, it was okay to not being open to little extent, right? But nowadays, right, the more and more open you are, the more and more people create the trust on you as leaders, right? Because it definitely encourages people to, come out with a lot of ideas and then talk to you freely. It creates a lot of a collaborative environment when you bring in that openness. Because when a leader is open in his communication, then it comes down to the people as well, and they start becoming open. The managers and the team leaders, everybody becomes open, which creates a culture, and which is what creates a lot of innovations in the organization, and helping each other, teamwork, everything. It depends on that. Now, the other thing that brings in good culture and trust amongst people is when you are open, you align expectations between people, between teams, regarding the goals and what the company has to achieve, and where we are moving forward and all that, right? So aligning expectations is one of the big advantages of having an open communication, where the team builds a good trust and culture as well, right? Another thing we can say is a sense of belonging, right? People get to a sense of belonging when you have open communication, and we have seen that. I have seen that personally in many of the organizations that I have worked with. I have worked with 7 organizations, including the manufacturing industry. So when your communication is open and collaborative, right, people come to you, right? Definitely, I have seen that people come to you, and you are able to keep people uh, you know in a very, very fair and a good mannered personality inside the organization. Because after all, people spend a lot of time in an organization, and then once they go home, it's only late in the evening, and then it's less of a time, and except Saturday, Sundays, they spend with their family. So this also builds a sense of belonging, and it also extends to the family. You can see that people behave in a good mannered, good openness, and people try to align expectations even in a family environment. It catches on. So it's good that leaders are open in communication, right? So when leaders demonstrate a lot of value, right, when they speak, if they demonstrate lot of value. And how do you demonstrate value? By listening to a lot of employees. First of all, a lot of people say, right, and it's written in a lot of books, and I have seen that personally working. You have to be a good listener. Good listener means not that you have to keep mum when the other person talks for half an hour. People mistake it for that, right? I am saying that you should be able to catch what people are saying within, just like that, and grasp it, and also process it in your mind on what the other people is trying to say and what the other people is trying to think through. That is what the leadership evolves around, and that is where your communication also demonstrates value. When you pick up those vibes very quickly, you'll be able to communicate better. When you communicate better, it creates a lot of value. It demonstrates value from your side, and it also creates a lot of transparency. See, you will have to take time to explain a lot of initially, at least when you move in with your teams and all that, there will be the time initially that you will take to explain and reason a lot of things that you do. But after that, once you build the relationship, I have seen many times in my own organization that the next time when I say something, people don't double guess it, or people don't feel that whether he's talking the truth, or a lot of things comes around that. So it creates a lot of transparency, and that is that is the key thing for a leader to do an effective communication. And also the trust and the culture is created by how do you show support. Because believe me, in any organization, the leader might think that nobody is watching them, but I know for pretty sure that each and every employee is watching what the leader is doing. So when the leader understands the employees and shows support, it catches on down the line. Even down the line, people start behaving in the same way, catching up with the leader, taking cue from the leader. So it creates a lot of healthy support amongst people and amongst teams. So I think those are the initial thought processes that I have when we create a culture and trust among employees.
Yeah, that you beautifully explained, sir. Like as you said, if we wanted to be a very good leader, the openness is very much important to have a better collaboration and have a healthy relationship within the team, right? So that's amazing. And what do you think? What's one communication pitfall you have seen even great leaders fall into, and what are the smartest ways to overcome it? Like one of the biggest mistake where the leaders are doing it and how we can fix it up.
See, it's not easy being a leader, okay? Because let me tell you, I have led teams of more than 500, 600 people, and I have led teams when it was 2 people and 3 people as well. So it's never easy to be a leader, right? So because whatever you do, there are some questions which are going to come back to you, right? So some of the common things that leaders forget to do, I would not call it as a mistake, but they forget to do is, one is, you don't actively listen to somebody, right? You might interrupt somebody, which is okay as a leader, but you don't actively listen, which means that you don't get the point of what they're trying to say very quickly. And that quickness and the way in which you react, that is very, very important. So you have to listen to people actively is what I'm trying to say. So that sometimes leaders don't do that, right? Or sometimes what they do is they will have to structure their communication depending on the group to which they are talking to, right? You should not give too much detail, or sometimes you should not give too little detail. So that comes by experience on how to deal with people and all that, right? And then the other thing, very important thing that you have to keep in mind when you interact with people as a leader is that the non-verbal cues that people give, right? So the body language. So leaders sometimes, they overlook that. Again, I wouldn't call it as a mistake, but they overlook that, because of which, you might not understand the person in the right way, right? And there is no one size fits all approach in communication and in leadership. I think that is very, very clear. All of you are aware that I can't talk to this. I can't talk the same way with everybody, right? And with different teams, I can't have the same approach. So that is one thing that we'll have to be careful about. And sometimes leaders don't lead by example, right? For example, you ask everybody to come on time to office, right? But as a leader, if you don't come on time, right, you cannot expect other people to follow that. Though they might not ask you on your face saying that, hey, did you come on time? You're asking me to come on time, right? But they will definitely go and gossip at the back end and, saying that, avare time ku varalapa. So why should I come on time? In the sense that, so leading by example in everything is very, very important. And the second thing is, sometimes leader fail to appreciate people in a group, right? So that is one of the, again, one of the things that leaders might overlook. I wouldn't call it as a mistake, but they might overlook. So people, definitely there is a separate course and HR, and people talk about how not only money is important, but being grateful, appreciation, and certificates and all that is very, very important in life, beyond money and things like that, right? So we will have to be grateful to people, right? Whenever there is a good achievement by a team member or anything. That culture, again, coming back to the first question, that culture has to be inculcated by the leader. So it drills down to the team managers, team leaders, whatever it is, right? And the other thing is, sometimes you might have to go a little bit overboard and explain why you're doing something in the organization, right? As a leader of the organization, sometimes you will have to go a little bit more and explain. And most of the leaders, they don't have patience, right? And they are saying, I am the leader, I say you follow it. But it will not happen like that. More so now with the Gen Z and all coming, that they don't care, right? Previously, when I was working in manufacturing, if I go and say to my manager that I'm going to resign, he will say yes, and if I come out, I won't get a job. So people are afraid to even go and talk about resignations. But now, left, right, and center employees can talk about resignation, because even if you send them out, they get another opportunity. That is what IT, this thing has been created. So one of the toughest thing is for most of the leaders is patience and explaining certain things beyond what is what is required. Sometimes go overboard on explaining, which is what some people overlook, and sometimes they miss out on, right? And there are other things as well. You will have to adapt to different styles, which the leader sometimes forgets to do, and they have a standard set of behavior for a lot of people. That's how, in fact, a couple of days back, we attended a program, right? DI disc, right? The disc program conducted by you guys. So that's a classic case of how people have to behave based on what the other people's personality is. And I think as leaders, we should not be ashamed, or we should not have ego in terms of how do I say that, in terms of not taking a cue on their behavior, and then be conscious about it, and then change your style according to other style. So leaders might feel, why should I change my style? Let him change, because I'm the leader. He's the one who is working for me. So it doesn't work like that. So a leader and the leadership has to be, it has to adapt to different styles of people, which sometimes they mistake it. And they should also ask for feedback, which most of the leaders don't do. They may talk in HR, 360-degree feedback, that is, etc. Leaders might talk about it, but I doubt whether most of the leaders can take negative feedback on face on, right? So the moment you start taking negative feedback on your face, or you allow people to question or argue with you, right? Which you don't take it in the wrong sense and penalize the guy, right? I think that is where you will win over a lot of people. And I have done that in the organizations, and I am very proud to say that, in my days in Cognizant Technologies, there used to be one survey where you're also rated on how people leader you are and all that. 360 degrees, they send a questionnaire and they mark you, and it is included as a part of your appraisal, where you will get your incentives and bonuses. So the score will be out of 5, and all your 360 degrees, they will do it, your boss and peers and all that, right? 360 degree. So out of 5, consistently, when I was working in Cognizant for 8 years, consistently for 6 years, I used to get 4.9. So not to boast about myself, but to tell people in this forum that it is very, very essential that you get 360-degree feedback, and negative feedback should be taken in the context and not penalize people because they have given a negative feedback. Because you have seen that in DISC that day, right? People who have attended DISC, some of them are here. So certain people cannot take negative feedback in a group. That I think the D guys or whatever, right? S guys or whatever. But as leaders, I definitely feel that you will have to take negative feedback. Even in a group, when people tell you, you will have to take it in a positive sense, and then talk to the guy separately if you don't like it and all that, and move it in a different way. So I think that comes by experience. So I think these are the various challenges that the leaders might have. I wouldn't call it as a mistake, because every leader is unique.
Yeah, very absolutely true. As you mentioned, that we should be ready to accept the feedback to be a better leader. That is very much important. We should accept. If we accept our mistake and ready to change, definitely it is going to be one of the fruitful period for us to being a leader. And the next question is like we often say the communication is only complete when it is understood. So how can leaders make sure their message truly lands across every level of the organization? Like, they will be sharing information and then, like, it has to reach all the people. So how we can do that?
See, that's an art, right? Leadership, according to me, right? There might be a lot of books and there might be a lot of people who teach leadership and all that, but having been in the leadership position for so long in so many organizations, according to me, 60% of leadership is an art. 40% is skill that you can learn, but 60% it's an art, right? So how do you create clarity so that people understand across all the levels, people understand you very clearly? Is your communication has to be clear and concise. Use simple languages, right? Don't use jargons as leaders, because you might hear jargons when you attend a disc program. You might have heard certain jargons there. So I cannot come back to my office and use those jargons in my office. People don't understand. So you will have to be extremely simple and clear and concise when you want communication to reach to the bottommost level. And as I said earlier, depending on the group which you are talking to, suppose you're talking to a vice president set of people, right? 10 people who are vice presidents in your organization. So your level of communication, the way you're going to talk is going to be totally different, right? And the jargons that you use or the language that you are going to use, it's going to be different. But when you're talking to a direct employee in a town hall, right, it's going to be a little bit different, where you should use very simple language so that they understand. And more often than not, most of the leaders, what they do is they talk in a language which the leaders understand. They don't talk in the language which the employees understand. If your employees are a lot, for example, in our current company, right, in our office, most of the people are in Tamil. So when I talk to a lot of people, what I do is I purposefully talk only in Tamil. I don't bring English, because a lot of people in our organization come from down south, right? From Tirunelveli, Madurai, and things like that. So there is no point in using English and high-funda words. They don't, understand anything, and the effectiveness of the communication is lost. So they don't understand what you're talking. So you better get into Tamil, right? So that is where is communication has to be very simple, and it has to be structured very well, right? You have to, yes, Alago, I think you're right. Speak their language for rapport, right? So, and the other very important thing which the leader should always remember, to me, is consistency in his message. You cannot be inconsistent, no matter what, right? You have to be consistent in what you're talking to the group, always, every time. So you will have to be at your toes. Otherwise, very simple, you can't become you are unfit to become a leader, or you are unfit to continue as a leader. That's all. Only your wife can be inconsistent when she talks, so that you can keep quiet.
That's a nice example.
Otherwise, when you talk to people, you will have to be consistent. And again, you will have to, when it has to reach across levels, that is what your question was, you should show a lot of empathy there, right? You should acknowledge and validate the perspective of others in the group, and you should allow people at the lowest level to talk at that point of time, talk back to you, right? That is where you will inculcate a culture of learning, culture of innovation. They talk a lot about all this, right?
Yeah.
And innovation comes from existing employees, all that. But what is, as leaders, what you have to do is you should first allow them to talk. If the moment people visualize that if I talk, I will be penalized. If I talk something and ask a very critical question in a group to a leader, I will be penalized and my incentives will be cut, my appraisal will be cut, all that, nobody will open their mouth. Right?
Yeah.
So to make sure that it reaches all the level, you should first allow people to talk. Then what will happen is they will be ready to listen to you. The moment they are ready to listen to you, then you are on the right track. Right?
Definitely agreed.
And you should also add on a little bit of stories in between and all that, which comes with experience. And as I said, 60% is art.
Yeah.
Only 40% is skill, which I can learn coming to your leadership programs, attending your programs and all that. Whatever I attend, whatever I do, I will have to implement it when I go back to the office. And that is an art.
True, true. Completely agree. Because if we speak in their language, definitely we can create a better rapport with the people, and also it will reach to the people, right? Like the another question is, if you see, today is all about the digital, right? Digital comes first, and then the real conversation comes later. It has been replaced. So, in this situation, how can leaders stay authentic and also emotionally connected virtually?
See, virtual thing has become a reality now, right? Everybody, even now we are connected in Zoom.
Yeah.
Right? And it's going to increase as the day goes by, right? So previously, it is definitely one level low than meeting people personally. That everybody will agree, at least for the next 10 years. After that, Gen Z will come. They will not even know what is meeting personally means. They say, why should I meet personally my team members? So that's apart. But to be the first of all, for the virtual communication to be very effective, right? When we are in a Zoom call or calls like that, it is better to have video calls and show your face and open up the video very clearly, right? If you don't open up your video as a leader and you might say block your video or whatever it is and do only audio, nothing is going to happen. You take it from me right now, because everybody wants to see the leader. What are his expressions? How he is behaving? What is his body language? It is not only leaders watching the body language of the team members. I told in the beginning, I said, right, the team members are also watching you. So they will watch your body language. They will watch how your face expression is and all that. So it is very important that we use the video first. That's a very simple thing that we are trying to do, right? And then we have to encourage open dialogue in any online transaction or in any online way of communication. We will have to encourage where the team members feel safe, and you should slowly also encourage them to open up their videos, because once you open up their video, they will start uh, have a belonging in the whole call or in the whole meeting or whatever it is, right? So that is one thing that definitely people have to. That is why even in our organization right now, when I have calls with all the salespeople and all that, I tell them that, open up your videos. Don't close your video, because once you close your video, then you are very clear that other person is not going to see what you're doing, and we won't even listen, right? So that is one important factor that you have to do, right? And keep asking clarifying questions, whether people have understood, and pick some names always, and ask them whether you have understood, not from a perspective of pinning him down or anything, but from a perspective of making him participative in the meeting, right? So that is one thing that helps us. And also use the right medium in the right way, right? Always it need not be a video and showing your face and all that. It can sometimes be a conference call. It depends on the group with which you are trying to address, right? If you're trying to address a very, very senior group, I don't think you need a Zoom call or a Google call. It can be on a conference call with with a phone call as well. But when you're having members right in the call at a very not at a senior level, you prefer to have a video call and all that, right? So and uh, you know you can also use personalized messages sometimes. Hey, Kalaiyarasi, how did you feel about the whatever I said? What do you feel? Hey, Elango, what do you think about this? Make people participative, right? And then you know uh, make some personal stories always, so that it is interesting, because you're not face to face. You should make the conversation interesting, right? So that is one of the very key things that you do when you're online, right? Make it very interesting, right?
Yeah.
That since we have only 45 minutes time here less, so I'm not able to dwell out a lot of stories from my own experiences, but there are a lot of stories which we can cull out from our own experiences. It need not be a story, but it can be it can really be a fact that has happened, an incident that has happened, which we can share, where we also learn a lot of things in our earlier days. So I think, but the order of the day is online. So
Yes, as you said, we are in the digital era. Like we have to keep showing our authenticity, like to connect with people, and also we have to be genuine and everything. Whatever you said was amazing. And yes, in this 45 minutes, it was an amazing discussions and lot of insights we have received, and definitely we can able to utilize this in our day-to-day life, and also we can able to communicate the same to all the future leaders as well. So anyway, thank you so much, sir. It was a wonderful session with you, and it was really inspiring. Thank you so much.
yeah, I think we can open it up for questions a little bit if they have anything.
Yeah.
Yes, so thank you so much, Kalaiyarasi, for your wonderful panel discussion. Sir, thank you so much, sir. Your thought process was wonderful, and it was amazing, sir, to hear the words from you. Let's see what our forum members have been gone through with that discussion. I invite Mr. Bharat to have a quiz. Yes, Bharat?
Do we open
Hi,
questions or
Hi,
after
hi,
that?
Bharat, yes.
hi, good evening, sir. It is great to hear. First, thank you so much for accepting our invite and joining our forum today and adding value through your experience. So it was great to hear. Just quick questions to the members here. And sorry, as sir said, I couldn't able to turn my video on since I am on driving. Apologies for it. And moving forward with the question, just one small question to the members here from whatever Shah had covered for the last 30 to 40 minutes, right? So I will also pose the same question in the chat box also. The question goes like this. As a leader, what you should avoid to be an effective communicator? As a leader, what you should avoid to be an effective communicator? First, be empathetic, option A. Option B, try to impress with your fluency. Option C, practice open communication. I'm adding the same thing in the chat box. You can post your answers. We have B, C, Karnay Prakash sir says C, Suman sir says B, and Sangeeta ma'am says B. Okay. We have multiple views. Ajit Kumar sir says B, Anand Natarajan sir says C.
Various
Great.
set of
Thank you. Thank
perspectives
you.
for the same question.
Yeah. Just option and more of V and C. Yes. Okay, good. I think there is no option A. So we are so clear. We should be empathetic. So only the option B and C is quite confusing because maybe the question may be slightly tricky. As a leader, what we should avoid to be an effective communicator? So as Sir lightly said, when we communicate with our team, avoiding jargons and showing our friends. Sir also gave his own life example where within their organization where most of the people are Tamil, he goes with the Tamil communication. So it makes him to communicate, build rapport with his team in an effective way. So option B is the right answer, and congrats to each and everyone who have answered option B, and others. Thank you so much for participating. Yeah, looking
Yes,
forward to it.
Bharat, can you
Over to you.
tell me the winner of the quiz?
Sorry.
Can you please tell me the winner of the quiz?
The winner
Winner of the quiz? We have
Definitely,
so
it is
many
going to
winners.
be.
Yeah.
Actually, whoever have said the first that person will be getting the gift, right?
Yes, actually,
Okay,
the
then.
first
Yes,
person to answer is Alagu. Alagu is the
Alagu,
first
yes,
person.
yes. Yes, congratulations,
Yes,
Alagu.
Halagu ma'am was the first one. Okay, yes, super.
Yes,
Congratulations, Salagu.
congratulations, Alagu.
Thank you all.
Any questions
As
from
a
anybody?
lead, and you have the option to ask a question to our guest speaker today. Yes, Alagu.
I don't have a question, but I would like to thank him for accepting our invite. And it was a very insightful session on communication, where, even up to the the digital world and agency, how to communicate with them and how not to communicate. Thank you so much, Natarajan sir.
No problem. I hope I have been effectively communicating to all of you in this last half an hour.
Of course, who else can be a better communicator than you?
Any questions from anybody? I can take questions. We
Yes,
still
yes,
have around 3-4
sir.
minutes. I think
Yes, sir. The forum is open for the participants, and you can ask any questions if you have any doubts.
Sangeeta here. Good evening, everyone. I have a question. So before that, Natarajan sir, that was a wonderful answers for the questions by you, sir. A lot of takeaways I've taken today. So say that. Second thing is, my question to you is there a boundary that a leader should have? Because yes, we know that, as you said, we have to have open communication. We should be actively listening to the employees or the participants, and we have to actively implement the ideas, solutions. Everything is fine, but I'm finding a difficulty in an area where will these kind of leaders be taken for granted at any time, any point of time? In that scenario, could a leader be really assertive at all times? Um, if not, what is the boundary that he could hold? So that is the one question that I have.
okay. So, yeah, fantastic question. So, the first one I would like to answer this in two parts, right? The first part is very simple. Leadership, as I told you, is 60% art, right? Art can only be taught to some extent, right? So, you will have to draw, for example, if you have to draw a picture, you have to keep on drawing to get it right. So, having said that, right? So, that is first part. The second part, do you have to draw a boundary when people mistake me or things like that? Definitely, yes, you will have to draw a boundary, but it also depends on a liar. It also depends on two things. One is, what is the situation, right? When people have mistaken you, in what situation they have mistaken you? Number one. Number two, is that situation very critical for the organization, right?
Okay.
Number three, yes, it is important to be assertive at some point of time, but you should know where to be assertive, right?
Clear.
Right. So this definitely comes with experience as you want, but at the same time, I would say a member, for example, right, need not be so flexible compared to his leader. That leader need not be, please note my words, need not be more flexible than his boss.
Okay.
So what I was trying to say is, when you move higher up in the organization, you will have to be more and more flexible. which means that you will have to bring in a lot of maturity, right? You cannot act like a member when some situation comes, and there will be a lot of times when we have to let go a lot of things.
Oh, sure.
Again, I'm not saying that you should give up your self-respect. No, any personal attacks on you, any personal stuff, I think you should stand up and you should draw a line, things like that. But there will be a lot of situations when, as in the organization, you will have to let go a lot of things and not get into that level of a member and keep continuously arguing and trying to prove your point. I don't know whether I'm communicating it properly. You never try to prove a point to a member beyond the stage, right? So there, it's better to kind of move on, keep quiet, show maturity, but give your messaging correctly in the right manner, right? Now, that is where your DISC program and all that comes in, where you understand the guy, take him away separately, and as depending on his level in the organization, you tell him that, hey, that's okay, just leave it and keep moving on. You cannot fight with a member, right? You cannot fight with the person who is giving coffee in our office. A lady gives coffee, right? So she doesn't bring coffee on time, or when a meeting is going on in a conference room, she comes inside and gives coffee. And you have already told her previously, when meeting is going on, don't come inside and disturb us. But even next time she comes in, there is no point as a leader in shouting at that point of time, in front of everybody. It doesn't require you to do that.
Exactly.
I don't know whether this example is suiting properly, but things like that. So things like that, sometimes you will have to let go and keep moving on. But self-respect, when it comes to your personal attack by somebody and all that I think you have to stand up. I hope.
For sure, yes.
I hope I have given you an answer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely, sir. You have come to the right point, and I've taken it in the right way. Absolutely. End of the session or end of the day, to answer this, your answer that I've got or received in the perception, that is, the art of communication has to be learned, and the leadership styles have to be adapted. End of the day.
And
situation.
And the other thing is, as leaders, Leah, you will definitely make mistakes because we are not God. So in fact, I go one level beyond and tell my team and all that boss, I am not God.
Correct.
I can make mistake, but you have to admit your mistake in front of everybody. That will inculcate a lot of trust to whatever questions we asked in the beginning, right? So other very important. And second thing is, leadership or a hazy subject. You can give answers to that. There is no straightforward answer. Sometimes it might not work.
Super, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for the opportunity.
Thank you, Sangeeta. Thank you so much. Yes, one more question. Participants can ask one more question to our guest speaker. If anybody wants to clarify your doubts, you can please. Thank you so much, thank you so much, leaders, for joining us today. I sincerely thank all the participants who took the active participation, and I also request all the participants to join in our upcoming sessions as well. So thank you so much. I think you have communicated all those things in an effective way that everybody can understand in an easy way. Let me quickly summarize the session that has been given by our guest speaker. Like, organization culture shows in employees' behavior, and attrition rate is one way to measure it. Open and collaborative communication helps people to come to you, aligns teams with the goals, and ensures clear expectations. It also builds like a family-like culture and transparency. If leaders listen and understand what others are thinking. Being a leader isn't easy. Common things leaders forget include active listening, structuring communication clearly, and noticing non-verbal cues. Leading by example is crucial, along with appreciating your team, having patience, adapting leadership styles to the situation, and asking for feedback without taking it personally. Taking 360-degree feedback is important, and negative feedback should be seen as an opportunity to improve. And leadership is 60% art and 40% skill. Communicate simply, consistently, and always collect feedbacks. In virtual communication, ensure everyone videos is on to create a sense of belonging, encourage questions and active participation. Finally, make conversation engaging by sharing their personal stories and real-time examples that helps people to relate and keep their attention. So, as Sir said, this communication plays a vital role in various set of leaderships, and we have to adopt all type of leadership styles according to the situation that happens. So that was wonderful. So that was wonderful point that has been shared by you. That was a great insightful insights for us to be here. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Now I invite Mr. Arvind to give a word of thanks to our guest speaker.
So, thank you, ma'am, and hello, everyone. Good evening. So, this is Mr. Arvind. I'm corporate trainer and cybersecurity enthusiast. So, getting clarity, the power of communication and leadership lies in turning vision into understanding and words into action. So, great leaders don't just speak; they inspire, align, and ignite. So, let me quickly share again the purpose of this thriving leadership community. Leaders Connect 360 Foundation is a non-profit organization aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. We are hybrid model leadership community, bringing together leader every Wednesday from 6:30 to 7:15 p.m. where our experts in their field provide solution to real-time leadership challenges. And every last week of the month, we take a deep dive into knowledge by initiating authors to share insights from their books, helping us grow as leaders and lifelong learners. A heartfelt thank you to our esteemed guest speaker, Mr. Natarajan Krishnamurthy, for such as invaluable insights. Our dynamic moderator, Dr. Aishwarya, for leading such an enriching conversation today. And now, as a small token of our appreciation, we present a special thank you video to express our gratitude.
Thank you. Nice of you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for accepting our invite.
Thank you.
And it was such
Thank
a
you. You can log
wonderful
off.
session. As I said earlier, it was the power pack communication thoughts that has been given by you. Because as always, we rightly said, more than a message, a method of conveying the message is very important. So in that note, we were very happy to be a part of your thought process. So thank you so much for joining with us. Thank you so much. So thank you, participants, for being an active participant today. And I invite all the participants for the upcoming sessions as well, so that we can get more perspective about the leadership communities. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, participants.
Thank you, ma. We can log off, right?
Yes, thank you, Natarajan sir. Now we have a small networking with our members and visitors. If you have time, you can also be the part, or if you have any other commitment, you can, sir. You can.
Yeah. I'll log off, right?
Yes. Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay, let's stop it.